to Nation to Nation. I'm Fraser Needham. We've been at the AFN Special Chiefs Assembly in Ottawa all this week. Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation in northwestern Alberta has been struggling with a number of issues in recent months. Wildfires this summer destroyed critical infrastructure there. The First Nation also says the local school has a faulty furnace and leaks gas. So a number of students are being bused to another school. And the local water treatment plant is also in need of upgrades. Joining me today to talk about some of these issues is Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation Chief Sheldon Sunshine. He joins me at the AFN Special Chiefs Assembly in Ottawa. Well, welcome to Nation to Nation, Chief Sunshine.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so I listed a lot of problems there, obviously, that in a recent months. What kind of impact is that having on your community members?
Well, there is several big items that really are impacting our nation, our members. We talk about the Tribal Council. We're leaving the Tribal Council here in April 1st of 25, and we encountered some issues with funding and the funding levels. The funding levels to begin with are not enough, and then we run into challenges within the Tribal Council, which compounds that. And our people have suffered through those for some time, since '97, since the Tribal Council was formed, and then we go on to our school. Our school has been built in the '90s, and it's undersized for the amount of people that we have. We have over 450 students coming out for attending school from our community, and 147 we accommodate in our school. Even with that, we run into a lack of space. Our council had to purchase a building that we're getting set up hopefully by the end of January to accommodate some of our kindergarten students, which we had to split into half-time. So that provides challenges for them, that they don't get the full quality education. So the impacts are felt well throughout our community. Our water treatment plant, there's a water wastewater study in 2020 to provide municipal services to the core areas of our nation. And as it stands today, we truck water and vac services to over 370 homes. And that creates a lot of pressures on our infrastructure, our roads, and our people. Run into lack of funding for trucks. Based on the ISC's formula, we should have, for every 50 homes, we should have a truck, water truck, vac truck. So we should have over 8 trucks per. Currently we have four of each. And whenever one breaks down, it just creates challenges on our community.
Right, so obviously lots going on now. I understand you've been trying to meet with Indigenous Services Canada, Minister Patty Hyde for a number of months, 6 months or so. But no luck yet, I understand.
Yeah, there's things there where I'm part of the Chief Steering Committee with TSAG, and we've had opportunities to meet with her, but nothing specific to our nations or our needs, right? So, we sent a letter request for a meeting this week, and then her office sent one back saying that we met with Chief Sunshine the other day, but that was with the Chief Steering Committee. So we're kind of left at whenever we get an opportunity, I want to raise all of our issues. We got we got a lot of concerns within our communities, and so I sit at various tables to help push those agendas for us, whether it's on the nation or at a chief's level.
Now, of course, the Prime Minister said many times when he was first elected that his most important relationship was with First Nations people, Indigenous people as well, and hasn't said as much recently. But why is it so important, I guess, to have this relationship, to be able to meet on an individual basis, especially when you're here in Ottawa, and it probably could be arranged?
Well, I think to get that personal touch with our community, they know where we are, but they don't know what we go through on a daily basis. When they're dealing like this, for example, the AFN, that's something that I recognize that they've been doing, is going a lot through AFN, like whether it's Bill C-61, the water legislation, using the AFN as a form to manufacture their consent. And when we're looking at our perspective from northern Alberta, we really don't have that voice here. We don't have a regional chief, right? So there is a lot of challenges, and I think it's important for those government officials recognize that we do have our issues that affect our nations specifically. And we're not all the same. We're all different. We all have our challenges. A lot of similarities, but we're all different.
Okay, and as we were just talking, I think one of my colleagues talked to you about this as well. Had some trouble registering here at the AFN Assembly as a chief. Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, that my executive assistant tried to register me 2 weeks ago, and Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation didn't come up in the drop-down menu. So there's a couple email exchanges and asking why that was, and it turned out they referenced the BCR that we sent in 2017, long before that I was chief. Saying that if we wanted to get back into the AFN to vote, that I'd have to send a band council resolution to say that we're back in, and we're not going to do that. We don't. We're here because there's challenges that they're talking about that are going to affect our treaty and our inherent rights. So those are the ones where I want to speak to, and that's what I've done the last 2 sessions that they've had here in Ottawa and Montreal. I spoke against their manufactured consent at the INAN committee meetings, and I think that's part of that, just trying to pull back on my voice when I come to speak to those things.
So if I'm correct, what was the band council resolution, or
Band council resolution? Yes.
what was it on though, or?
It was a withdrawal of the AFN, that they don't speak on our behalf, and Treaty 8 nations have numerous nations have done the same, but they're still on the list when they registered. So yeah.
Maybe one last question on that, because we've been covering a lot of. Obviously, it's been a little bit divided in recent months. I don't know if you're in Calgary, but we covered that. And of course, there was a lot of, the National Chief signing agreement, and without proper consultation, from what we heard. Is that, like this sort of, either you sort of agree with a certain line that the executive or the chief is taking. If you don't, then you're sort of out of the loop. Is that what's sort of happening?
Yeah, to some extent, and that's what we feel, and we think, I feel, I'll speak for myself, that the government's using the AFN for that to push their agenda, that they want that C-61 legislation passed, and using AFN. Same with this CFS, they utilize the AFN, and those are some of the things that we're pulling back on. They come to Alberta region to try to get that thing passed. And it was pretty clear that the Alberta region is not supportive of the AFN process.
Right, it certainly got pretty soundly defeated from on the CFS bill anyway, that resolution that got soundly defeated. So I guess that's why they're discussing it here right now.
Yes, and that's the same thing. We're here, and like I said, we're a little silenced today, but there's other chiefs that feel strongly about this process as well.
Okay, well, they're advising me I'm running out of time here, unfortunately, but really nice to meet you today, and thanks for joining us on our show.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks.
I also want to honor Murray Sinclair. I want to recall that the top Truth and Reconciliation Commission calls to action was with regard to child and family services, and number 3 was with regard to Jordan's principle. Taking inspiration from Negan Sinclair, his son's beautiful offering during the service for Murray Sinclair, the best way to honor his father's legacy is to do the work and do it together.